So we brainstormed articles for the magazine, and we've been researching and doing a few. Just gonna zoom this in a bit more. Of things that we would love to have in the magazine. So initially, it would be segmented into articles and all the articles that we would like to feature this month, and then have the monthlies or the regulars of stuff that are going to be in the magazine. So after talking about that and just kind of coming up with everything that we want for this issue, we came up with a prototype, which is basically called a flat plan. And this is how our designer would actually work on the layout. So it starts with the covers that Alice is going to show now, but it's also the ads are in purple, so we'd have like how many ads are going to be in the magazine, as well as like the content. So we would have like just the way the magazine is going to look only on an Excel sheet for the time being. I guess that's about it. This is how it's going to look, and Alice is going to show you the covers of.
Okay, and these are some of the prototypes we came up with for the front cover. We're playing around with different names and things and kind of using a Christmassy theme, because obviously that's what a lot of the content of the first issue is going to be. And we kind of moved on to the name Temptation. As you can see, we're using quite sort of simple fonts and things to make it really stand out. It still looks kind of quite trendy, quite simple, something that will appeal to students in sort of block bright colours, and using quite sort of simple but sort of evocative images. So that's kind of what we're working with for the moment for the front cover.
This is Alice.
Hi. Right, we're thinking about ways to display the magazine, and we're talking about the first issue is coming out just before Christmas, and a lot of the articles in the magazine are going to be Christmas related. So we're thinking about the presentation of the magazine for the launch, and one idea that we came up with is sort of the display of the magazine, and this is just a very rough kind of prototype, but we could possibly think about making the magazine look like a little present or something. Obviously, we'd have to think about costs and stuff because ribbon is fairly expensive, but it looks quite pretty. So that's one way of doing things.
Right, what we are going to do is have a little bit of a reenactment of the discussion that we initially had as to what the content of the magazine would be. That's in regards to the specific articles. So, ladies, when you're ready, take it away.
As a result of market research, we definitely discovered that people really wanted to have kind of cheap and easy recipes and reviews about places where to shop for groceries and restaurants and so on. So that's definitely going to be a large part of the content.
We talked to a lot of students during the research phase. We're still talking to a lot of students, and according to those we talked to, they definitely would go for recipes that are easy to do, that have cheap ingredients. We've come up with a few fun ideas on how to work with just a few ingredients, but kind of make a lot of options with that. We also want to feature local chefs here, and interview them, as well as have like quirky, funny stuff of like how kids eat these days, what do they do, stuff for Christmas. Definitely, we're researching places to go in Christmas, and how to have a home cooked meal if you're staying in Kingston as an international student.
Yeah, and we have to remember as well that our target market is students, so there obviously needs to be things in there like best places to go, like on a night out, sort of first date locations, best pub crawl routes, how to eat and drink on the cheap, things like that. So it's going to be quite a diverse range of things.
We also have health and beauty that we discussed, that we want to maybe include just a small bit in there, like food that you need to eat to boost your immune system, and also beauty tips that Alice is going to be working on to do with fruits or with vegetables and all that.
Okay. And how did you go about actually engaging with the student population?
It's quite easy. Get a few pints of the student union pub.
And talk to everyone, really.
Everyone want to talk to you, and also like sending out a survey. Even though we've been sending out to quite a lot of people, we've got an okay amount of responses.
We, other than the survey, which was pretty helpful, we really approached a lot of students just kind of as we went along, like if we're going out or with me, because I live at the halls of residence, so I kind of approached a lot of different, students from all over the world. We also just talked to a lot of people that we just come across and sent the survey to pretty much everyone we know.
Yeah, AC made a really good survey on Google Docs, and we all sent it out to our friends on Facebook, and we did that I think the day before yesterday, and since then
We also sent it on
more than
Twitter.
doubled the amount of people who were answering it.
And how did you decide what to put in the survey?
There's kind of things that we've been discussing, and we didn't want to make it too long because we didn't want to frighten people, from not taking the time to answer the questions. So it was just the basics need that we needed to have, and for like more content related issues, I think that a conversation with the student has been much more helpful.
And what's the most important thing you think you found out from the student population?
Well, I think that's kind of
Content,
the content, but also like prices, because even though we were kind of keen on having it as a free magazine, just the fact that we were actually also getting those results, that people would probably only get it if it wasn't free, that is going to be important for us. So we wouldn't have made any mistakes about putting a price in it.
I also did realize that a lot of students don't cook, and they would really like some help on where to get like ready-made meals and just easy to pick up, and just they're cheap but also they're very healthy, because not a lot of students cook. But those who do cook, they wouldn't mind getting recipes from from a student magazine, because we're students and we're giving advice to students, so it just sounds more that they're going to be receptive to it because we're students and we're diverse. So it makes them
And
trust the magazine more.
So do you think you're going to put more of a focus on education, trying to educate the students that Just Eat Takeout, or are you just going to pander to their needs and provide them with the best places to go?
I think it's going to be sort of a healthy mix of everything. Obviously, we don't want to sort of close down our target market too much. We want to keep it as accessible to as many people as possible. So I think it's going to be the kind of thing where we have a little bit of something for everybody.
Because people that cook, they're gonna cook a few times a week. They're not gonna be able to cook all week. So you have, people can actually cook it like 3 times a week and then have to eat in, like order out 3 times a week as well. So it's kind of a balance really between everything.
Because I thought, there's so many international students here at Kingston, and most of those, international, we don't know where to shop when we do
Exactly.
And that's kind of the responses we got from most of our. That's one of the answers that was definitely relevant in the results that we got, that people really wanted reviews on where to shop. And because we're students, we also want to keep it a bit young, so we're playing with more fun topics and how to use those results into fun content. Also trying to put in some weird stuff.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen your weird side come out, AC. Now, final thoughts, because we think our room booking is up. Any final thoughts?
We want sport and food.
Sport, food and music all mixed in together at the
We're
same
really
time.
excited.
Yeah.
We're really excited about this. It turned out to be a lot of work, but we expected that, and we're putting our hearts and soul into it, and we're hoping for the best.
Exactly.
Fingers crossed. Okay, cheers guys.